Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh and his only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai. Yahweh is the name of the one true God, and Yahweh Shai is the name of his only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus. And I want to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and I want to send salutations to all the Akim throughout the four corners of the earth, exalting the name of Yahweh and his only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai, in truth and in sincerity. All right, so this is going to be a quick lesson on what does God and his only begotten Son look like. And the true names of both of them, the Most High Yahweh, the God of this whole earth, his name is Yahweh. His son's name is Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus. Those are their true names, okay? So, but this lesson also is going to be about what they look like, all right? Because there is a confusion going on. When you go into these churches, you will always see a picture of who they ignorantly call Jesus. He will be a pale man, what we would consider a white person. All right. You will see depictions of him with long hair, stringy hair, maybe blue eyes, with pale skin. You will always see that depiction, man. But nowhere in the Bible does it even describe that. So that just goes to show you how it's a form of white supremacy, that you would actually put this depiction over there, all right, all over the earth, and you can't even find me one description in the Bible where it even comes even remotely close to that depiction. But when we bring out the true depiction of the Lord and what he truly looks like, y'all want to act stupid. Well, you're going to continue to act stupid because we're going to continue to expose it. The point is, he is melanated. We know that he's a black man, so-called black man of the tribe of Judah. That's what we know and believe. That's what we know. But one thing's for damn sure, he ain't no pale-faced dude with blue eyes and long stringy hair. That's one thing we can say. Undeniably. All right? That's for sure. You can't tell me this dude looks like Kenny G, all right, or something like that, all right, the famous saxophone player. You can't tell me the Lord looked like that when there's no writings on him looking like that at all. But we know what he does look like, and we're about to read it right now, all right? So this is Revelations 1, and I'll start at 13. It says, in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to the foot, and girt about the paps with a golden girdle. All right. Now, this is talking about the depiction of how he looks when he returns. All right. It says, and his head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire. So it says his head and his hairs, meaning his head on the top of his head, and his hairs, meaning his beard. All right. His beard, his top of his head were white like wool. All right. Now, wool, if you look at wool, wool goes in many different colors. If I were to say, let me see. If I said, oh yeah, your shirt is the color of the fruit orange, you know, you all know orange is one color. It ain't multitude of colors, it's one color. So if I say your shirt is the same color as the fruit orange, which is also the color orange, you will know that because that's only one color. But it says like wool, but wool has many different colors, man. All right. There's different colors of wool, but it said white like wool because it's talking about the texture and the color. All right. So the texture is like wool. So he had woolly hair. All right. So he had woolly hair. All right. And it was white. All right. And we know that the people on the earth that have woolly hair and who identify as people who have woolly hair universally are so-called black people. All right. Woolly hair, nappy hair. All right. The texture. All right. It's like an afro. All right. So the texture, white like wool. All right. So wool, saying it has many different colors when you look it up. All right. When you look up wool. All right. But it's talking about the texture of it. All right. And it was as white as snow. Okay. And it says, and his feet like unto fine brass, as if it had burned in a furnace, and his voice as the sound of many waters. So he had a deep, deep voice, deep, strong voice, and he had feet like fine brass, as if it had burnt in a furnace. When you take brass is brown, all right? But when you burn it in a furnace, it gets darker. So he was a dark-skinned man. So he was a melanated man, dark-skinned man, all right? A dark-skinned man with woolly hair that was white, eyes as the flame of fire, and deep voice. That is not the depiction you see when you type in Jesus, all right, on the internet, all right? You type in Jesus, you're not going to get that. You're going to get a bunch of stuff, but you're not going to get that, all right? As a matter of fact, let's try it. Let's look up Jesus. Oops, lucky. Okay, what the hell I put a U there for? All right. You look up Jesus, this is what you get. Do you see eyes like a flame of fire? You got that picture right there. But that's off. You don't see eyes like a flame of fire. You don't see skin on him like brass as if it burnt in a furnace. You don't see white woolly hair. You don't even see white hair on him. That's what you get, man. You get stuff like this. Now, where is this in the Bible, man? You're not going to find this in the Bible. You're not going to find hair like wool, all right? Like white like wool. You won't even get that. They won't even give you that much. But you get this depiction. Why? Because it's a form of white supremacy. Because they wanted God or the Son of God to look like them. All right? But he really looks like this. All right? This is just a depiction, as an example. That's all that is. Just an example. As you see, his feet are the same color as his face. All right? And, yeah. That's what he's supposed to look like. Or he's going to look something like that. All right? As an example. All right? That's how he's going to look. Now, what does God look like? All right? That's where we're going to get to next. Now, what does God look like? All right? Let's go to it. This is Revelations 4 and 2. And this is talking about God. All right? Let me start at 1. It says, Revelations 4 and 1. It says, after this I looked, and behold, a door was opened in heaven. And the first voice which I heard was as it were of a trumpet talking with me, which said, come up hither, and I will show thee things which must be hereafter. And immediately I was in the spirit, and behold, a throne was set in heaven, and one sat on the throne, which is God. All right. And it says, and he that sat was to look upon like a jasper and a sardine, Sheridan stone, and there was a rainbow around about the throne in sight like unto an emerald. Slakia, I should look that word up for, but Slakia. But listen, man, that's what they said that God looks like. All right, it gave him John the Revelator gave a description of what he looked like. All right, it gave a description. All right, those two stones. It's what he looked like. He said he sat and said, and he that sat upon it was like jasper and a Sheridan. All right, and when you look up what those stones look like, they look like this. Those stones look like that. Now, we know that flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of heaven. So it's not like the Lord's up there in the flesh. But he looked like this, though. This is what he was depicted as, according to John. That's what he looked like. So the color he was of the same type of pigmentation and color of the way his people look like down here on earth and his son. Okay? So this is what he looked like. All right? And this is what his people look like. All right? So those two stones look like this. All right? So that's what God looks like, man. He looks like us. All right? But they'll never tell you that. Why? Because of this white supremacy that they keep on pushing. All right? They will not tell you anything to uplift yourself. All right? It's that simple. This is John 14:9. It says, Yahweh Shai saith unto him, Have I been so long time with you, and yet hast thou not known me, Philip? He that hath seen me hath seen the Father. And how sayest thou then, Show us the Father? All right, so if you've seen the Lord, you've seen the Father. All right, if you've seen Yahweh Shai, you've seen Yahweh. They are one and the same. All right, not the same, but one and the same, because they're on the same accord. All right, and they're like-minded. All right, and he is the Son of God. All right, and they look alike. All right, as I just showed you and proved to you. All right, so that's just a quick lesson on what the Lord looks like. All right, he's not what the world says he looks like. All right, he's a man with pigmentation. All right, a so-called black man. All right, and from the tribe of Judah. All right, and his father looks like him sitting on this throne. So with that, all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai.